good afternoon, Nigeria. A warm welcome. This is NTA's Nationwide, and I'm Rhoda Obo. Many thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja Wednesday morning for the United States on a 5-day official visit. State House correspondent Adam Musamba reports that the president, who departed Nnamdi Azikiwe Airport at about 9 o'clock this morning, was seen off by the Minister of the FCT, Muhammad Musa Bello, and other senior government officials. While in the U.S., President Buhari is expected to join President Barack Obama and about 60 other world leaders and heads of international organizations at the 4th Nuclear Security Summit beginning on Thursday. At the summit dedicated to reinforcing international commitment to non-proliferation of nuclear weapons, President Buhari is expected
Ministry of Agriculture, 7.3 billion naira to the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development, as well as 5.542 billion naira to the Labour and Employment Ministry and 35.4 billion to the education sector as a step in the right direction. They, however, insist that the challenge before the government is how to ensure the ministries, departments and agencies deliver on their budgets.
Can we mention many states? How many states made provisions in their budget for homegrown feeding program in their budget?
Pick out the project that you can handle for 2016. That at the end of 2016, you can say, yes, I have delivered this.
Former chairman, Nigeria Economic Summit Group and manufacturer Sam Ohabonwa stressed that for the 2016 budget to revive the economy, the manufacturing sector must be provided with certain packages to enhance stability in the sector, which is able to grow the economy.
What is the policy that guides our fiscal rates, the import duties, the export surcharges? What kind of things are we doing to promote export?
Today's episode also featured the Nigerian-Egypt match at the AFCON qualifiers with sports analyst Mike Enahoro commenting on its outcome.
I saw us wanting to win so bad that it hurt the players on the field, and for the first time Nigerians at home could feel what the players on the ground were feeling. Just need to learn to put this group of young players that we have together and focus on Russia 2018.
In Abuja, Kufan Shaji, NTA News.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has re-emphasized adequate power supply as a catalyst towards driving the growth and development of any country. Sustenance must be guaranteed in Nigeria, especially as it is her peak of need. He dwelt extensively on the process while speaking on government's effort towards revamping the sector. Olajide Bello reports.
With an increase in March 2016 in the power generation to 5,000 megawatts, according to Minister for Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, the federal government says it will adopt measures to ensure the sector receives continuous boost with a view towards enhancing growth and development of the economy.
And so you need to set up a gas processing and production facility. That's a very big machine that you must raise money in order to construct. So people must understand this.
There may be curtains of discrepancies on the impact of the increase in national grid in the daily needs of Nigerians and economic activities. But the minister insists on the sure part of the government on how this feat in needed supply will be actualized.
But again, possibly, and I believe, can increase. The holy grail for power was 4,000. That's what they were chasing. But in less than 1 year, we're at 5,000. And if we now do the right things, we won't have the outages that we have. Instead of fixing and trying to stay at 5,000, then we should be moving on to 6,000, 7,000, and probably be moving in leaps of 2,000 megawatts.
Babatunde Fashola therefore called on Nigerians to be patient with the change mantra of President Buhari's administration, as it will leave no stone unturned. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Now, there seems to be no end in sight for now over the current fuel scarcity, as the queues are increasing. Mayor Ogedi visited some filling stations in the Capital Territory, Abuja, today and has this to say.
From all indications, the fuel situation in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, is biting harder, and this has impacted negatively in almost all the sectors of the economy. For instance, transport fares have increased, and workers going to their offices have been held up in areas where filling stations are dispensing the product.
The situation is bad, and there's nothing we can do. So only God can help us to solve this problem.
We come here since 4 o'clock in the morning. Up to now, more than 4 hours now, we have not got the fuel. So the problem is getting out of the hand.
While the lamentation is going on, people selling at the black market are praying for the situation to continue because they are making quick money out of it.
We are selling 1 liter for 200 naira.
We dey enter filling station buy am, we will sell am. We dey buy am a lot of 1,000, we dey sell am 1,500.
Motorists at this time are not expected to make unprofitable journeys. In Abuja, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, has reiterated the determination of the present administration to change the socio-economic fortunes of Nigerians. He was presiding over the graduation of beneficiaries of empowerment program by Yusuf Captain Buba, representing Gonhombi constituency in the National Assembly. Ladi Bala's report is here presented.
The Empowerment and Skills Acquisition Scheme initiated by the member representing Gombe Federal Constituency, Yusuf Captain Buba, which has a whole industrial village constructed, is a deliberate program aimed at reducing poverty and unemployment among the productive age members of the area. The graduation of about 445 beneficiaries trained in different fields of entrepreneurship such as welding, vulcanizing, carpentry, tailoring, and ICT, to mention a few, is the second since the project commenced. While distributing the empowerment tools to the graduates, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, reassured Nigerians of positive change in terms of delivery.
In China, 45 years ago, the bilateral relationship between the two countries has been smooth and cordial. This strategic partnership shows in various aspects, basically in trade, with current volume of $14.9 billion, making Nigeria China's third biggest trading partner in Africa and second biggest market of China's export to Africa. It is to further strengthen the cooperation in the field of science and technology, and with a hope that the proposed state visit to China by President Muhammadu Buhari will help expand the scope and mutual beneficial relations, that the Chinese ambassador visited the Minister of Science and Technology.
Nigeria is diversifying its economy, so we think that investment in agriculture, mining, in infrastructure, these are areas of cooperation for China and Nigeria.
The Minister of Science and Technology maintained that Nigeria will continue to work very closely with China, especially in the area of science and technology. He believes China's success for the past 3 decades is traceable to the importance the country attaches to science and technology, and says with the relationship between the two countries, Nigeria will also grow her economy in a sustainable manner following the government's focus on science and technology.
This ministry will honor all agreements, any and all agreements with both the Ministry of Science and Technology in China and also the Chinese government, and that the relationship between China and Nigeria in the area of science and technology research and innovation will continue to grow from strength to strength.
Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria is partnering the Malaysian government to fight Hydra-headed cybercrime threatening the nation's economy. As part of efforts to achieve this, a 3-day training on cybercrime is ongoing in Abuja. And Ruben Okala tells us more.
The training, according to organizers, is to rewrite FBI's recent survey that Nigeria ranked first in Africa and third in the world among countries identified with cyber fraud and computer crime. This is due to the fact that as the information and communication technology ICT is growing, cyber criminals are also deploying tactics to defraud internet users. How ready is Nigeria to fight the trend?
What we are doing again is to prepare them to be able to guard against attacks that may come from different places. These attackers already know where you are, so they are ahead of you. And that's why you can't afford to sleep. You need to be at work 24/7.
Quite a lot of effort that needs to be done to increase the level of security. The task ahead for us would be to bring everybody up in skill level so that they can adequately protect the systems before any untoward incidents happen to them.
Participants of the training are from various ministries, departments, and agencies.
The training, which is tagged Capability and Capacity Building, which is in partnership with the Malaysia Cyber Security Agency, is aimed at protecting the over 90 million regular internet users in the country. I am Ruben Okala, NTA News.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winfred Oyo-Ita, says the federal government will succeed faster if civil servants remain dedicated and passionate with their assigned duty and mandate. She spoke to Adebola Brookslyn Sunday on the need for civil servants to get involved in the expected change.
Currently, there are over 1 million civil servants in Nigeria with different schedules in ministries, departments, and agencies. Mrs. Winifred Oyo-Ita wants all civil servants to be more committed, as the success of the present administration depends on them.
Ask all civil servants not to relent in carrying out their duties diligently, because truly the whole nation of Nigeria is looking up to the civil service for the way forward.
The head of service says identified challenges will be addressed as appropriate and spring the civil service to the promised land.
Some of the filling stations visited in Apapa Road, petrol attendants were seen dispersing fuel to motorists. The long queues that were in major filling stations in the recent time are gradually disappearing. Some motorists who spoke to NTA News expressed their feelings about this development.
I'm surprised to see fuel here. You can see, I'm seeing on the queue, I never buy.
They say normal. They say normal, they do well.
This particular filling station, they are doing well. They are doing wonderfully well. You can see the queue is very normal, and we are buying it. And we are buying it at the normal price.
You know, go use 10 minutes or 20 minutes to go see fuel buy for Ikoyi.
There is no fuel scarcity, because all the fuel stations, there is fuel in the whole filling station. But selling the fuel out is only the problem.
However, some stations who are not selling said they have exhausted the available product and are expecting another consignment anytime from now. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
On to tax matters now. Taxation experts have called on government to abolish the manual processes and bureaucracies that lead to leakages in tax collection. This followed the rating of Nigeria's 181 out of 189 places where business experienced difficulties in the process of paying tax. Despite the strides made by tax authorities in Nigeria to improve tax collection processes and capture more taxpayers into the tax net, the result of the World Bank survey in collaboration with PricewaterhouseCoopers indicates that Nigeria has to do more in order to reposition its tax collection system. Experts say Nigeria's tax-to-GDP ratio must grow to at least 15%. Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
Accompanied by some executive members of the state, Governor Akinwumi Ambode was received by the widow of the deceased and other family members. While commiserating with the family, Governor Ambode described the late Dr. Tunji Braithwaite as a man of many paths, whose exit will be seriously missed by Nigerians. He appealed to Lagosians to emulate the legacy of patriotism which the deceased left behind to move the state forward. Some family members bear their minds on the life and time of late Dr. Tunji Braithwaite.
He was an icon, as we all know. A gentleman, a very courageous person, a family man.
An enigma. It's very, very unlikely that
will get his type in a long time to come.
He had a lot of time for people, regardless of which strata of life one comes from.
He was an inspiration to teeming progressive activists in the country. He was a dogged fighter.
The late Dr. Tunji Braithwaite died on Monday, 28 March 2016 after a brief illness. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
And those are the top stories making the rounds in Lagos. It's back to Rhoda in Abuja, who has more stories for you. Rhoda.
Thank you, Abdullahi. Nigerian ambassador to Cameroon, Hadiza Mustafa, is advocating a new regional maritime diplomacy template that will stimulate maritime safety and security on the Gulf of Guinea. Ambassador Mustafa stated this on board Nigerian Navy ship Okpabana in Douala. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdulkadri reports.
Ambassador Mustafa identified fleet recapitalization as key driver for anti-piracy fight in the Gulf of Guinea. She described the Nigerian Navy participation in exercise Obangame Saharan Express as strategic to winning the crude oil fight on the nation's territorial waters.
It's an opportunity for our military and especially the Navy to show that we have full control of our maritime domain. We have the power. And it is also a very good way of promoting maritime diplomacy.
Meanwhile, Nigeria ranked top among the cooperating navies in the performance index at the end of the US-sponsored regional maritime exercise.
I've also seen that our capacities in terms of physically engaging vessels at sea. You can see within the last 6 months, we have engaged not only Maximus. Maximus has been celebrated, but we have Surf Marine.
52 ships and 31 aircraft featured during the exercise. Leaders of participating navies drawn from 26 countries resolved to come up with a new response plan based on multi-agencies mechanism to tackle threats on their territorial waters. From Cameroon, Muhammad Abdelkader, NTA News.
It's time now to take a break, and when we return, we'll be back with more reports on Nationwide. Do stay with us.
You hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter. That might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Our founding fathers worked to establish certain standards of governance. Some of their successors behaved like spoiled children, breaking everything and bringing disorder to the house.
The leaders at that time, as well as those of us that followed them, were patriotic. They went into politics to serve, but not to be served.
It is people doing things wrong and not being sanctioned that led to this escalation.
What is going on now? We are beginning to lift up the quality of leadership.
We must not succumb to hopelessness and defeatism. We can fix our problems.
Now, you can hold that dream occasion without stress. Horizon Caterers will provide answers to all your catering questions. Exquisite hall designs, mouth-watering and nourishing local and continental cuisine, suitable for all types of ceremonies, including weddings,
kidnapping and cultism,
Always inform the police of any incident around you. Say something when you suspect something.
Remember, we all have a stake in building a crime-free Nigeria of our dream.
This message is from the Nigeria Police Force.
Fashanou trying a shot, and it's gone in. John Fashanou's 5th goal of the season, and what a spectacular...
Great Nigerian people, great Nigerian products, all made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria.
Made in Nigeria.
It's made in Nigeria.
Nice, made in Nigeria. Quality is guaranteed.
Nice, made in Nigerian good.
Made in Nigeria is where we are going now.
We're going to come to Made in Nigeria TV Expo and exhibition in April 2016, where we shell for the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. Features include grand opening ceremony, live concert, and showcasing of many Ogbonge quality products from our expert manufacturers and states. 5 days of TV Expo and exhibition for Made in Nigeria products and services. For further inquiries, we're going to contact our contact platforms or visit any NTA station near you. Think international, because our products are going international.
This week on Airtel Touching Lives, we visit a computer school that offers free ICT classes for struggling youth. And we meet the dedicated staff and students from a school for the disabled in Abuja.
I like this school because you're humble, gentle, miracle, happiness. Dance with me.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Nationwide on the NTA. Enugu State Governor swears in permanent secretaries. These and more as we join Ngozi in Enugu. Ngozi, it's over to you.
And welcome to Enugu Network Center. 250 inmates in the 3 prison formations in Enugu State have been released from detention following a jail delivery organized by the State Chief Judge, Justice Innocent Umezurike. The inmates include 100 prisoners who were granted bail and others released without conditions. Ifeoma Ndukoli reports.
The 250 inmates were released from the maximum security prison in Enugu and the minimum security prisons, both in Oju River and Nsukka. The prisoners released, according to the Enugu State Chief Judge, Justice Innocent Umezurike, were those on awaiting trial who were unlawfully detained and have stayed for between 5 to 10 years in prison custody without trial. Some of the released inmates were detained for offenses ranging from rape, robbery, murder, among other charges. Justice Umezurike, who granted unconditional release to some of the inmates, advised them to engage themselves in meaningful handwork to avoid returning to prison.
This essentially ought to be a yearly exercise to ensure that those who have overstayed the period within which, if they were tried and convicted,
Finance, Dr. Iknetu's owner, expressed happiness at the appointment and promised to bring their wealth of experience into the civil service. Earlier, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Mr. Augustine Nwankpego, explained that the appointment of the permanent secretaries were in line with Section 208 of the Constitution, stating that the 3 permanent secretaries now in the state public service were appointed from each senatorial zone of the state. In Abakaliki, Chinaza John, NTA News.
In the spirit of Easter, a non-governmental organization in Enugu has marked the Easter celebration with visits to some orphanage homes. Chimobi Wharton Naji reports that the National Coordinator, Gender Affairs of the Foundation, Messi Odumije, presented some gift items to the homes.
Presented to the homes are bags of rice, tubers of yam, toiletries, and cartons of beverages. Making the presentation, Mrs. Odumije said the foundation's vision is to enhance and uplift the lives of the youths, the physically challenged, and the less privileged in the society. She commended Enugu State Governor Chief Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi for what she termed his developmental strides aimed at uplifting the lives of the people. Receiving the gift items, the director of the Holy Child Motherless Babies Home, Enugu, Reverend Sister Maria Kajetan, extolled the selfless services of the foundation, which she noted has contributed immensely to the upkeep of the less privileged members of the society.
May God, who is following you in your good work, in your charitable work, follow you throughout your life.
The children sang to the admiration of the visitors. In Enugu, Chimabi Walter Naji, NTA News.
That's all from Enugu. Thanks for being there. We're going back to Abuja as Rhoda continues with the rest of the news on Nationwide.
Ngozi there for us in Enugu. Many thanks. Now, there are calls on government and the citizenry to step up actions that promote religious harmony for sustainable development. Talatu Ezerike reports that this was part of submissions of discussants on NTA's Tuesday live program.
Experts say in the 60s and 70s, interfaith in Nigeria between the main religions, Islam and Christianity, was highly cherished, evident in the harmonious living pattern and the sincere display of love. Over time, there were challenges occasioned by ignorance, illiteracy, and to a large extent by external forces, giving rise to violence, introduced tension, mutual suspicion.
Because the people there also signed what we call Shandam Peace Affirmation.
Analysts believe that the good old days will be restored and want issues such as poverty and breakdown in moral values, especially of the family, to be revived, as well as ensure the reintroduction of teaching of religious studies in schools. Talatu Ezerike, NTA News.
Time now to go over to Makudi Network Center, where the Benue State Independent Electoral Commission inaugurated in readiness for local government elections. Time now, let's join Charles for more details on this and other stories in Makudi. Charles, it's good to see you.
Thank you very much, Rhoda, and thanks for joining us in Makudi. The Benue State Independent Electoral Commission has been constituted with the inauguration of its chairman and other members by Governor Samuel Ortom. Achigli Magaji reports that this is preparatory to the conduct of the local government elections in the second quarter of this year.
The chairman of the commission is Dr. John Swa from Vandekia local government area. While swearing in the members, Governor Samuel Ortom urged them to hit the ground running by putting all the necessary machineries to conduct local government elections as soon as possible. He challenged them to strive to conduct a free, fair, credible, and transparent elections in the second quarter of this year.
The integrity of the electoral process and its reputation must be carefully nurtured so that it can earn the respect and confidence of our people.
He promised government support to the commission to enable it deliver on its mandate. Chairman of the commission, Dr. John Swa, solicited the cooperation of members of the public to meet their expectations in terms of delivering acceptable polls. In Makudi, Achigli Magaji, NTA News.
Senator representing Benue Northwest George Akume has cautioned communities affected by herdsmen farmers clashes against reprisal attacks, as the government is determined to take measures to end the crisis. Senator Akume emphasized this while donating relief items to internally displaced persons within his constituency. Elias Etiaf has more.
The over 3,000 internally displaced persons who are currently camping at the LGA Primary School Wanune are from Banigbe, Mbaikyo, Mbakwakem, Mbaikia, and Baya in Taka and Bruku local government areas of the state. For now, some of their basic needs include clean water supply, health facilities, and other such items. Senator George Akume, while addressing the IDPs, decried the spate of attacks by people suspected to be herdsmen, not just in Benue, but other states in Nigeria, noting that the Senate and all other well-meaning Nigerians are working around the clock to find a lasting solution to the recurring problem. In their separate remarks, the Ted Buruku Chief Afatio Ajuku and his Mbako counterpart, caretaker chairman of the affected local government areas, as well as the secretary to the state government, Tagma Takma, said concerted efforts are being made to put an end to the crisis. Aside from the 147 bags of rice and 45 bags of maize donated, Senator Akume also pledged to donate milling machines as well as pay.
It's actually a zonal intervention program of the National Assembly done in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Health.
The items donated include examination courses, screens, HIV determining, non-contact thermometers, acute chest strips, laptops, mosquito-treated nets, among others. Jalingo, Adu Adamal, so NTA News.
That report on health rounds off our contribution from Makudi. Rhoda, is back to you.
Many thanks, Charles. A group of proposed members-elect into the House of Representatives from Anambra State led a protest early Wednesday morning to the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC's headquarters in Abuja, asking to be issued certificates of return, bringing up again the context for recognition under the ongoing disputes in the PDP. Ifeanyi Okafor tells us more.
Now, the protest by the group Committee for Anambra State PDP House of Representatives members-elect are pressing home their demand that the list of candidates that emanated from what they termed as a valid party primaries be recognized by INEC. They came with scores of supporters seeking redress to what they described as a denial of their mandate. Their mission included to register the complaint on the failure of INEC to comply with a Federal High Court judgment of December 5, 2014. They stated that the Supreme Court's pronouncement of 24th of February 2016 further validates the authenticity of the Ejike Ogwebego group.
For over 60 days now, that judgment has not been obeyed.
INEC monitored our primaries, published our names, and we went about campaigning.
The reason why you are here has been received. And the step that has been taken is adequate.
Representatives Chris Azubogo and Linda Ikbazu say the claims are, however, a misrepresentation of the facts of the case.
There was no confusion about who conducted the primary. It was the National Executive Committee that NEC that conducted our primary, nothing like caretaker committee.
The commission, I expect them to follow the law clearly and not be swayed.
The Committee of Anambra State PDP House of Representatives members-elect have taken the matter to the European Union. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says the tenure of
Counterpart Harcourt. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has released more results of the March 19th rerun legislative elections in Rivers State. The resident electoral commissioner for Rivers State, Aniedi Ikowak, who disclosed this to newsmen, said some of the state and federal constituencies and senatorial seats are inconclusive due to irregularities. Emmanuel Lene reports.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, won 3 of the federal constituency results released. For the Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 1, Kenneth Shekere pulled 18,904 votes to beat his APC rival, Igo Aguma. For the Port Harcourt Federal Constituency 2, Blessing Siegbe of the PDP had 6,968 votes against Sir Collins Wonder of the APC, while Kingsley Chinda of the PDP scored 27,895 votes to emerge winner for the Obiakpo Federal Constituency against Tony Okocha of the APC. Adoke Tony Smart of the PDP won the Farga State Constituency 1 against Irene Iningba of the APC. Benibo Anabraba of the APC scored 2,970 votes to be returned for the Agogosoro Constituency 2, while the PDP candidate Tonye Alalibo was disqualified.
Those results that were genuinely collated we made public, and those other ones that election may not have been concluded also led the people into details of the areas that election were not concluded would be worked.
Defense Corps and Bayelsa State Fire Service embarked on a sensitization campaign to enlighten members of the public on precautionary measures and how to tackle emergency situations. Some of the representatives of the collaborative agencies speak.
Provide fire extinguisher for the
necessary at what position so that in case of any emergency, those available equipment can be used.
Whenever there is any other kind of disaster, even flood disaster, we can be contacted.
We brought up this project to rally together all the emergency divisions in the states to get them working together as a unit.
Flyers with safety tips were distributed to members of the public and emergency call lines when in distress. In Yanagwa, Ebinimi Zitimiola, NTA News.
The illegal transmission and distribution of cable signs by individuals and organizations is a crime that the Nigerian Copyright Commission, NCC, is focused on stopping. Following a tip-off after a long period of surveillance, officials of the NCC from Port Harcourt Zone stormed Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, and effectively dismantled equipment used by cable signal pirates. Paul Makigo reports on the operation.
The Nigeria Copyright Commission, NCC, in line with its mandate to enforce copyright protection, be it published work, film, broadcast material, and other intellectual properties, visited 2 locations within Yenagoa. At Lagod
gave the directive at a workshop organized for heads of drivers' license centers across the country in Abuja. Aliyu Tukuru has the details.
For many, especially teenagers, dream of obtaining driver's license as soon as they are eligible is of essence, as it serves as a symbol of newfound freedom and sort of a quintessential rite of passage. Does that describe you, or do you have or want a driver's license? Because the Federal Road Safety Co has made progress in respect of processing driver's license, as the production process has been improved upon. For new drivers to obtain the driver's license, they will have to present a certificate from a certified driving school, a learner's permit from the VIO, and a proof that they have paid the stipulated fee. While those renewing their driver's license, they can do that online or visit any of the driver's license centers across the country.
When you complete your sessions, you get a certificate, and from there, it is the responsibility of the state vehicle inspection officers to conduct the test, which is their own statutory responsibility. And once the test is done, you pay your prescribed fee, which is just 6,350, no more. And you go for capture, and you get your temporary license for just a few weeks to get a permanent one.
With over 200 workstations across the country, the co-marshal said the co is yet to meet its target. That is why it is putting the workshop in order to raise the level of efficiency and monitoring through collaboration with states and VIO. In Abuja, Aliyu Tukur, NTA News.
On Global Tidbits, from a Prime Minister and mathematics professor sworn in as President of
to the Central African Republic will come to an end this year, since it has assisted to restore peace and democracy to the country after 3 years of conflict. For Global Tidbits, Ronke Kolawole, NTA News.
Now talking sports,